Guys, I am going to study. This is the class seventh history book, and I'm gonna tell you that we are so much poor, especially Hindi medium, because they do not study a lot of books. They only just study English book, and with that they think that their English is going to fluent. It is not like that. For fluent in English, you'll have to try to study a lot of things like newspaper and books as well, history, political science, geography books. So all the books are important for you, will be important for you. So now I am going to study. This is the class seventh, and this is the history book. So I am going to study it, and I am going to upload it. So let's study with me. The chapter name is Introduction, Tracking Changes Through a Thousand Years. Take a look at maps 1 and map and 2 map. I was made in 1154 CE by the Arab geographer Al Idrishi. The section produced here is a detail of the Indian subcontinent from his larger map of the world. Map 2 was made in the 70s by a French cartographer. The two maps are quite different even though they are of the same area. In all Adrish's map, South India is where we would expect to find North India, and Sri Lanka is the island at the top. Place names are marked in Arabic. And there are some well known names like Kannauj in Uttar Pradesh is spelled in the map as Kanauji. Map 2 was made nearly 600 years after Map 1. During this period, information about the subcontinent had changed considerably. This map seems more familiar to us, and the coastal areas in particular are surprisingly detailed. This map was used by European sailors and merchants on their voyages. Equally important is the fact that the science of cartography differed in the two periods. When historians read to documents, maps, and texts from the past, they have to be sensitive to the different historical backgrounds, the contexts in which information about the past was produced. New and old terminologies. If the context in which information is produced changes with time, what about languages and meanings? Historical records exist in a variety of languages which have changed considerably over the years. Medieval Persians, for example, is different from modern Persians. The difference is not just with regard to grammar and vocabulary. The meanings of words also change over time. Take the term Hindustan for example. Today we understand it as India, the modern nation state. when the term was used in the 13th century by Minaj-e-Siraj, a chronicler who wrote in Persian. He meant the areas of Punjab, Haryana, and the lands between the Ganga and Yamuna. He used the term in a political sense for lands that were a part of the dominions of the Delhi Sultan. The areas included in this term shifted with the extent of the Sultanate. But the term never included South India. By contrast, in the early 16th century, Babur used Hindustan to describe the geography, the fauna, and the culture of the inhabitants of the subcontinent, as we will see later in the chapter. This was somewhat similar to the way the 14th century poet Amir Khusro used the word Hind, while the idea of a geography and culture entity like India did exist. The term Hindustan did not carry the political and national meaning which we associate with it today. Historians today have to be careful about the terms they use because they meant different things in the past. Take, for example, a simple term like foreigner. It is used today to mean someone who is not an Indian. In the medieval period, a foreigner was any stranger who appeared, say, in a given village, someone who was not a part of that society or culture. In Hindi, the term Pardesi might be used to describe such a person, and in Persian, Ajnabi, a city dweller, therefore might have regarded a forest dweller as a foreigner, but two peasants living in the same village were not foreigners to each other, even though they may have had different religious or caste backgrounds. So thank you guys, and also try to study a lot of things, and you should try to speak each and every day, and you should try to record yourself. So a lot of things are here to be fluent in English. This is one of them. Thank you for watching this.